Good and good in the house, back with another bang on video. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have brought unbelievable news to you guys because Arsenal are looking forward for a midfielder, a winger, and definitely a new youngster as well. So sit back, relax, and enjoy all this the 10 minutes or probably so because I've got really loads of news for you guys. If you're an Arsenal fan, do subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so that you get notifications of all the videos that we post. Let's move on with the first news. Arsenal have sent scouts to watch Bristol City youngster Han Noah Masengo a number of times this season. But the youngster is quite promising and it looks like Arsenal can add him into their squad in the coming future. Well, moving on. While talking about it, Ray Parlour has wished TalkSport presenter and former Scotland forward Alan Brazil a happy 60th. In a hilarious Twitter video, the Romford Pele said, Al, happy birthday, every day is your birthday. I've even got suntan lotion for your bonds because it looks a bit red at times. Well, moving on, talking about it, Tottenham boss is planning to hijack Arsenal's summer transfer plans. But it looks like Jose Mourinho. I think this is one of the hijacks that I would not mind him, hijacking our deal because Jose Mourinho is planning to beat Arsenal and Everton to sign Brazilian skipper Thiago Silva on a free this summer. Mourinho needs to boost his defense with Belgium stalwart Jan Vertonghen set to leave with his deal runs down this season. Paris Saint-Germain say club captain Silva and record goal scorer Edinson Cavani will leave after the conclusion of the Champions League campaign. Both players' contracts are due to expire this month, and the French champions sporting director Leonardo revealed they will not be handed extensions beyond temporary ones to allow them to play in Europe. Well, moving on. Arsenal and Manchester City are being linked to Swedish prodigy Armin Gigovic. Helsingborg's IF are reportedly prepared to sell their defensive midfielder, who is 18 years of age this summer after being hit financially by the COVID-19 pandemic. The under-19 international Gigovic broke into his Swedish second-tier club's first team at the start of the season, and he's very much shining. So it makes sure. I mean, he has to make sure that he gets a better club in the future. Moving on. Well, Arsenal have also been handed a boost in their pursuit of Thiago Silva. The Brazilian centre-back will be released by Paris Saint-Germain this summer. We all know that after 8 years being in the French capital with the champions, the news was announced by, we all know PSG, sporting director Leonardo, and signals the end of an era for the 35-year-old. But Silva revealed some good news from the Gunners that he wants to stay in Europe. He told the Brazilian magazine Caras that everyone knows the affection I have for Fluminense, but I still have the goals to reach in Europe. Moving on, Inter Milan have joined the race to sign Jonathan David. Now, according to some reports, Inter are preparing to launch a bid for the John striker. Arsenal and Manchester United have also held initial talks for David, who has actually scored 23 goals and created 10 more in 40 appearances this summer. That is really huge. Gent are reportedly set to demand just £22 million for the 20-year-old, and he is an unbelievably sensational kind of a person. Moving on, Arsenal scout Upamecano alternative. Well, it looks like Upamecano, if it is not being, it does not become materialized, or it probably becomes unsuccessful. Arsenal are likely to be priced out for a move for Upamecano. If that happens this summer, and Arsenal will instead try to sign Reims defender Axel Disasi. Well, the Gunners have scouted the 22-year-old and see him as a cheaper alternative to Upamecano, with Disasi likely to cost somewhere around £14 million. That is it. Well, moving on, Manchester United are pushing hard to wrap up £75 million deal for Jack Grealish, and Arsenal were linked with this man, and so were Chelsea. But it looks like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has stepped up his chase for the £75 million rated Aston Villa man, with Sancho still undecided over his future. Well, Dortmund head of football Sebastian Kiel said, at the moment we continue to assume that he will play and stay at Borussia Dortmund next season. Regarding the rumours, I can say that there is nothing to it. It means Grealish could now be the marquee signing this summer, and it looks like Manchester United are definitely going to sign Grealish. Well, moving on. Well, here's a stat for you. Arsenal are limiting opponents to 0.8 goals per match under Mikel Arteta. That has been an unbelievable great amount of improvement. If that happens against Manchester City, it is going to be a real huge in terms of making a statement from the apprentice towards his master. Alexander Lacazette is awaiting a renewal agreement on his contract which expires in 2022 for security at Arsenal. If it does not come, he could be tempted with a move to Atletico Madrid, but Arsenal are expected to make an effort to keep Alexander Lacazette. Oh my god, keeping Alexander Lacazette is not a bad option, but the problem is you have to give him a new deal, and the amount of money that he's achieving right now, and with the club, with the players already know that the club could be stretched. The wages for a single player could be stretched to 355k a week just because they know how the deal is with Mesut Ozil. So I think these guys can actually play hostage and try to uh, make sure that Arsenal are in a very bad situation. Well, moving on, Arsenal, it is a biggest news that Arsenal have offered Thomas Partey a contract that would triple his current salary. Atletico will no longer be able to offer the widely reported improved contract due to the COVID-19. Thomas will announce his decision at the end of the season, and this is really huge for Arsenal. Moving on, Pedro, ladies and gentlemen, is set to join Roma, and it is expected that he will replace Justin Kluivert. Arsenal should pay 22 million euros in addition to Mkhitaryan for Kluivert for Roma. This is a deal that will bring a fair capital gain, but also liquidity, and above all, it will satisfy Paulo Fonseca. Well, that's the biggest issue. I think getting in Kluivert and expecting him to do miracle, that would be the most worst thing that Arsenal could have actually expect. But getting rid of Mkhitaryan in terms of not getting just the money but a good player, I think 22 million pounds is really huge for the youngster. But he's expected to do something great. He's not done so far, so I think it's up to Raul to decide. But moving on, Bear Leno on facing Manchester City says it is the first big game, and I think we can surprise them. Nobody knows the rhythm, nobody knows how it goes, and I'm pretty sure that we can have a good start. Well, amen to that. And moving on, Christian Falk has opened up about Arsenal to Dayot Upamecano. He says, not true, the reports that Dayot Upamecano has agreed on a transfer to Arsenal are incorrect. That has never happened, and it could happen. It's not that it won't happen, but there were certain reports in certain days that Dayot Upamecano has agreed a certain deal with Arsenal about his future, and that is not true. Well, moving on, finally, Arsenal can afford Felipe Coutinho. Well, his worth has actually gone down very significantly. He is now worth 67.4 million pounds, and because of this decrease in value, it clearly means that Arsenal can afford the Barcelonian midfielder. Well, moving on, well, here's the biggest news that everyone is actually awaiting because of the thumbnail and because of the news. Arsenal are close to signing Iranian Sardar Azmoun. He's called as the Iranian Messi for a reason, but Sardar Azmoun plays for Zenit St. Petersburg in Russia on the recommendation of the former player Andrei Arshavin. He is an interesting footballer, but it looks like Arsenal are damn interested in signing Sardar Azmoun, and it looks like they're very much close to completing their signing. Well, moving on, Arsenal are among the clubs interested in Said Benrahma. Well, Chelsea have entered into discussions with Brentford winger Said Benrahma and have expressed their interest without making an offer for the moment. Leicester City and Arsenal are also interested in signing the player. There were also reports that stating that Chelsea has started discussions with his entourage and have informed Brentford about their interest. Arsenal and Leicester are also interested. According to several indiscretions, Brentford will demand at least 20 million euros for the Algerian. Well, Alexis Sanchez showed off his insane leg muscles as he trained ahead of the weekend's game against Sampdoria. Inter Milan star on loan from Manchester United has scored just 1 goal in 16 appearances this season. Well, Kevin Campbell has unbelievably said that he would break the bank. He would want Arsenal to break the bank to keep hold of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He says the Gunners have backed themselves into a corner when it comes to a prize assets position at the Emirates Stadium. He says Aubameyang guarantees you goals, and if you sell your goals, you're in a very difficult position to replace them. He's guaranteed to get to 20 goals a season minimum. So how are you going to replace that? If you don't give him what he wants, it's going to cost more to find someone to replace him. And even then, they're not proven they can come in and do it. He's in the building. Yes, he's going to be 31, but he's still lean. He's still sharp. He's still fast. This is the type of player you build around. I don't know what they're thinking at the club, but I'd have signed him a year ago. The Gunners famously ended up selling both Cesc Fabregas and Robin van Persie due to the poor contract planning, and Campbell sees history is repeating itself. He says, I think Arsenal have shot themselves in the foot yet again. They've played in a game, and they've taken a risk hoping that they'll qualify for the Champions League, so that would obviously push him to be signing, but it isn't quite working out this season. It's a very, very dangerous game that they're playing. The backroom people and the hierarchy said they would never put themselves in this position again. But what have they done? They put themselves in this situation again. Well, these were the news of the day. I hope you enjoyed whatever came your way. All the views and news and everything about Arsenal comes on this platform every single day, twice. So sit back, relax, and enjoy all the news that comes on this platform. I will see you in my next video. Until then, cheers, and don't forget to subscribe because we're on a mission to reach 5,000 subscribers as soon as possible. We're not far off. Help us reach there by subscribing. I will see you in my next video. Until then, cheers.